Instagram, so like you're like a stunt double now.
I know.
Stunt double?
Ready, fellas?
Oh, like I'm the stunt double?
Shit gets hurt you.
All right, here we go. Focus.
My bad.
Well, clearly
There's
you got
mostly dudes in this trade, man.
I mean, you did find
What do you expect to the trade
you
for
did
girls?
find a nice you did find a nice
You
man.
said girls.
What do you think? You found a nice
I did
man
find
to
a
do a
nice man to do a tattoo. Man. Come on.
About a month and a half ago, I met a dude. That's what you said.
I know. All right. I guess I should have worded that differently.
Yeah, you should have worded that differently. Hey everybody, welcome back to Green to Great, where we have a video series where we promote the trades. We talk to young people in the trades, we try to get information out about the trades and just kind of support the trades in general. So today I am with brothers Erik and Luke Thacker. Luke is our apprentice, young carpenter working on our team, and Erik is working with a friend of ours, Jason Foley. And if you've watched Green to Great before, if you've met Jason, he's a like-minded carpenter and has been on this series before. So, guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Good to be here.
So, Luke, Erik, just keep it straight. I'll put names on the screen below.
Little name tag right
who's
here.
technically older?
Me.
This man
you came
right
out
here.
first?
I technically came out first.
1 minute.
1 minute earlier.
One
you were
minute.
1 minute earlier.
1 minute.
It's crazy.
So I, when I thought about doing this video, I was like, you know, these guys are pretty funny when you get them together. They're pretty goofy. They play off each other. So I thought it'd be fun to get them on video. And what is the coolest thing that you guys have done as twins?
You know, so many people ask that, but
It's a great question, right?
Yeah, but it just there's not much. I mean, like everybody would ask, like, "Oh, you guys must like have switched classes," but we were in the same class. And
What about girlfriends? You ever trick girls or do anything like that?
absolutely not.
God.
I get my ass beat.
No thanks. I'm set.
Do you guys constantly get confused? I would imagine.
Oh,
by people?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody confuses us. I mean, we've even seen our own photos, and we've been like, someone's been like, "Oh, who's who?" And you sit there like, I don't know.
Like the kitchen job, Erik visit. I don't know. Does he know you visited that? Get a kitchen job upstairs?
Oh yeah. So the kitchen job upstairs, the electricians were up there, and they started going at it, and I was down the road, so I figured I'd come over and.
Yeah, they told me to stop by.
So I went in there, and I was like, "Oh, how's it going?" They're like, "Oh, good, you know, whatever." And they thought it was him.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Change your clothes really quick.
Who was here? Steve? Was it Steve or Brian or?
It was one of the painters.
Oh, one of the painters was here. Okay.
Oh, maybe? I don't know.
I think it was the electricians actually.
Was it?
They told me about it afterwards.
Even if we go to Concord Lumber too, like I'll pull in and then pull out real quick after getting something, and then Erik will pull in and people will be like, "Your brother just pulled in. Oh my God, you're twins."
you guys just got there. What?
I mean, you guys are identical almost to the. You got the same necklaces, same haircut, but he usually does the gel look. You do the dry look, but
Yeah.
that's about the only difference. So I can tell them apart by the tattoos. They have different tattoos. So, all right. So let's talk about the trade school. Can't help yourself, can you?
I had to.
What drew you guys to the trades? Erik, you first. What drew you to trade school? I think you both kind of made the decision together, but you were doing the tracks.
Yeah, we kind of had a feeling we both do the same shop, but we didn't really know who was picking who.
Yeah, we really didn't tell each other that we both chose carpentry first. It was more of like, oh, what a funny coincidence. But
So you did the tracks, so like
Yep.
plumbing, electrical, whatever, graphic arts.
Yeah.
For 2
So,
weeks,
yeah,
right?
you go through, you do like a whole round of different shops, and then each week you kind of pick down into a couple, and then through that couple you then get in more depth, and then you pick which one you want.
And at some point you guys had a conversation, and you both picked carpentry.
Yeah.
right?
Basically at that point.
You didn't have a conversation like, what do you think we should do? You both said, I pick oh no, me too. type of
Yeah,
thing?
exactly.
Yeah,
Just
kinda
'cause
like
you,
that,
you put
yeah.
you get like a little note card, you write your name on it, and you put your top 3 choices, and then if say the person that has more better grades would go into the top one that they have. If
Yep.
you have worse grades, you have a less likely chance of going in there.
Oh, that's
That's
how
how
you
it
do
was
it?
for us
Oh,
at this
interesting.
point. That's what we were told.
Well, Jason would say the reason why you picked the same trade is because you both share one brain, but that's...
Yeah, I have half a brain.
I'm not surprised. It sounds like something like that.
As far as trade school, they both went to Minuteman Tech in Lexington, Mass, and we kind of work with them. I'm on the advisory board. Erik, you're on the board now too, right?
Yep. Yes, I am.
And do you think that Minuteman did a good job prepping you guys for the trades?
I would say maybe that they could have, because we were COVID babies.
Yeah, you guys went through COVID. You were junior year COVID or sophomore year?
Yeah, junior and
senior.
Yeah, junior and senior year.
We were on a
You guys
computer.
got screwed.
So
We did
it
get
was
screwed, yeah.
pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
Day one on the job site, Luke.
I knew how to work a table saw.
You knew how to use tools, right? You were pretty safe. You had OSHA.
I think that's the
10.
one thing. The one thing that Minuteman did really well was make sure safety and tool use was known.
Yeah.
And that was what I thought was more important than anything. But, you know, a couple other skills probably would have been nicer to have. But
Yeah, every year they'd go through safety procedures, and we'd go on the computers or books, and then we do tests before we even touch the tools. Even if we had, like, you know, you're going in senior year, you know how to use all the tools, you're still doing the safety training.
So I know you guys use that carpentry. I forget what it's called. The big book. That's your textbook. That's an excellent book, by the way. I've read that book.
oh, the Carpentry 101 or
Yeah,
something?
you guys do it on the computer now, though, right? It's not a book that you
Yeah,
bring
we
home.
used
They
to
have it
do
all
that.
digital.
We used
Yeah.
to do it on a book. We used
So
to read
that's a
some of it.
great. If you could read that book and master it, and then go work with someone and do that book, you could become a great carpenter.
No, after you.
but what are you
please.
drinking till straight now?
No, we're doing it at the same time.
But what are you? Did you find that boring? Did you find that program interesting? Was it just schoolwork? You'd rather use your hands? I mean, because the information in the book is real, right?
Yeah,
It's real
absolutely.
stuff. It's real nomenclature. It talks about headers and trimmers and jacks and stuff that you're learning. But were you like, oh, this sucks? Or, you know, what were you thinking when you're going through a computer learning
I think it was
carpentry?
more 50-50 because it was nice to learn more on the academic side sometimes, because you get to like read about what the trade you're in and kind of figure out what you want to learn.
Yeah.
But I think the bad part about it was we never really got that hands-on experience there.
Yeah.
So we never really could, because I'm more of a visual learner.
Yeah,
You know,
a lot
so
of us are,
being,
yeah.
sitting there on the computer and just having to read the text instead of going out there and actually kind of putting everything together was a little bit stunting, but
Yeah.
I didn't find it terrible. It was
Are you a visual learner as well?
Oh, 100%.
I'm visual and kinetic, so hands-on, and so it's audible, visual, and kinetic, I think, or so hands-on, hearing and seeing, and I'm definitely seeing and doing. So you're definitely not hearing. I'll tell Luke 3 things, he'll remember 2. So
Because I don't write it down.
we have to write it
Oh,
down now. We have a book now. We
But
write
now
things down.
I need something to write down to get the notebook, because I don't have a notebook, so.
You got to get another notebook. So.
I know.
What about the trades you guys enjoy doing most?
What about the trades?
I love hanging doors.
You love hanging
I
doors.
love hanging doors.
And trim. You like trim, right?
Trim work and all that. Inside work.
What
that-
carpenter doesn't like finish work because it's easy on the body and it's inside and air conditioned and
Get to listen
Yeah,
to
it's not
music.
outside in
you?
the heat or in the freezing
Uh,
cold.
I genuinely do not have a specific favorite. I enjoy doing a little bit of everything. Being able to get my hands on multiple different things, like doing the trim work or framing every now and again, like when I helped you guys frame that
we
roof.
did the trusses.
And
yeah.
it was enjoyable for me because I get to kind of learn everything.
So Erik Jason, our friend, is a remodeling contractor, but he had a start in tile, so he does a lot of kitchen and bathroom remodels, Schluter weedy systems, and now you're branching out. You're doing a lot of different stuff, right?
Yep, absolutely.
I think it's funny because we'll talk at the end of the day about something, and like I'll be like, you know, we're framing a barn.
Yep.
We'll be framing a barn, and then like, you know, halfway through that barn, I'm like, oh, I want to be doing like a bathroom like you are, and then Eric's like, shh, I don't want to do a bathroom right now. I'd rather be framing a barn.
Yeah.
Because you know we're doing
just
such
goes
different
back
things.
and forth.
That's interesting.
So-
So you trade stuff. Let's talk about why young people in the trade. So why are we not seeing a lot of young people going to the trades? Right now there's what they call a skills gap, which means the average age in the trades is 50 to 55. I'm 56. So Dan is 50, Jason's in his 40s. You look around the lumberyard, all the guys at the lumberyard, they're all old dudes. So what's the problem here? Why don't we see young people going in the trades? They're afraid to work? Is it sweat? What is it?
I think it's more towards the age gap, like in the millennial stage.
Yep.
I think they were more told that this is more like a really dirty, grungy job, and that they're not going to be making as much money as you would go to college. And I feel that the parents, like the baby boomer parents that are like sitting there, and they did have that generation, and they're like, oh well, they're all mean, they're all dirty, they all kind of say they hate their job, and they're all like, hey, like, go to college, like you're gonna enjoy yourself in college, you'll get a better education, you'll make more money,
Yeah, I think when they see trades and hear about it, they think like, oh, it's like a gross job that's underpaid. I'm not going to make as much as if I went to college and then found a regular job that like I can succeed in. But you get raises. I mean, it's like every other job.
You can negotiate. I also think as bosses out there, if you guys are owning your own companies or you're hiring young guys like Luke and Erik, it's really incumbent upon you guys to treat your employees well. Get rid of the hazing bullshit that we did years ago and treating them like shit, making them do shitty work. Pay them well, give them benefits. Make it sticky so they stay and they enjoy what they're doing. And enjoying what you're doing, I think, is huge. So if you find something that they like, maybe you set them up to succeed. He likes hanging doors, so maybe Luke gets to hang all 12 doors in this job we're working on now, or whatever. So as bosses, you need to think about that. You need to pay your employees. You need to pay well. They're gone are the days of $15 an hour employees forever, and you never rise up or whatever. So it's on us too. But you're right. I think parents for years, and I'm talking 3 or 4 decades, have poo-pooed the trades. You're not going to the trades. You're going to be an idiot. You're a loser. Junkies and flunkies, I always say. And you got to go to college or you'll be nothing. And then you see these kids from college. They're was it a barista at Starbucks? I mean, come on. So I think we do much better stuff than make coffee. So it's harder work. We sweat and we get dirty, but I think it's way more fulfilling. So.
Even then, I think it's a fun learning experience. Like a lot of the college kids you do see do those every day, like barista jobs or working at fast food places or just doing anything just for even like the summers, just to kind of get by until you have to go back to college.
Right.
But I feel like even if they are doing college, I think it'd be almost enjoyable for them to come on to like a job site and be able to get their hands dirty and be able to learn this specific trade. So even if they don't go into this, they still have a good knowledge on what goes on a job site and what they do onto someone's house, I feel like that'd be more interesting.
Yeah, I do too. Do you guys think you'll ever join forces? You kind of...
I think so. It's been talked about.
Yeah, it's definitely been talked about multiple times.
You both have tattoos on the same legs, the same necklaces. I mean, it's like you share the same brain. I mean, so that's the future goal, huh?
That is the future goal.
So.
I think the future goal would be that.
Well, one of the things that, if you followed the video, or I don't know if we've mentioned it in videos before, but one of the things we're doing is we're training Luke up to take over my company someday, so I can step back and give Luke something to work towards. So you'll be working for Luke, bitch. Unbelievable. No,
I already quit.
Just kidding.
Stay put. Stay put.
But anyway, I think it'd be cool, you guys working together, and that would be great down the line. We'll have to get Jason on board with that at some point, but when Jason goes off
good luck
Florida,
with that one.
Yeah, when he goes to Florida. Down the line, Jason.
Double or nothing.
Here's an interesting thing. I added this question. I crossed it out earlier and I added it. People are always complaining about young people on their phones, right? I know a lot of guys that I know in the trades, but across the board, businesses across the board talk about young people are always on their phones. They're crossing the street on their phone, and it's become a stereotype. How do you see cell phones on the job site being used, and how do you use your cell phone on the job site?
Music. 100%.
100% music.
Yeah, I was just
saying,
when I'm on a job site, I'll either use music apps, podcasts, just try and keep them, just throwing in my headphones while I'm working. I don't normally use my phone unless it's maybe text message that'll stop me, because if I'm on a job alone and Jason needs me, or if it's like a text or a phone call, I'll look at my phone real quick just to see who it is. If it's no one important,
I don't
kinda
use my
toss it
phone as
aside.
much as I should on that job site. Like if you or Dan text me, I won't look at it because I'm working.
Yeah.
And then I'll like look 30 minutes later and you ask me a question that you needed 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it's just,
One of the best things I ever did was I got this Garmin watch, and because all day long, you know, when you're running a job and you've got deliveries and other subs and the homeowner or whatever, talking to Luke, or you're taking your phone out and it's distracting. It's hard to get out if you're wearing a tool belt. So this just, I can look and just look at it. I can read the text, or I can just go, yep, nope, or I can even send a phone call. I can't take calls, but I can send a phone call to voicemail. So this has been great for me. I was hoping you guys were going to say I use it to communicate with my boss and my team. I use it for construction calculator. I use it to look up code.
I'm gonna be honest with the people here.
Gotta be honest with the people.
Yeah, well, you
I
like,
just watch movies all day.
That construction app costs money.
yeah, all right.
Oh, that construction. Yeah, you think I
The calculator, construction calculator.
No way. I use
No,
my head
there's some cool things for the phones. There are apps. There's the construction calculator. There's free trade code apps, so you can look at codes like stairs, treads, or rafters, things like that. Joist spans.
Yeah, if I have something that I need to look at, like
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
You will look it up. And communication, right? So communication. I will say I don't see you guys on the phone a lot. Once in a while, Luke's boyfriend Caleb will call. I'm just kidding.
Now he's gonna watch this video.
He's gonna watch this video and be pissed off at
No,
me.
it's funny that he says that because he called me yesterday when we were lifting lumber.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Caleb calls at least once a day to check in. Always in the middle of we're lifting an LVL beam up,
Oh
and
my
the phone
God.
rings. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's like,
it's
hey,
Caleb, right?
Hey, bro, you doing something?
Yeah. What are you doing?
No.
What are you doing? They're like, I'm working.
Oh, nothing.
So
What's up?
even Luke's girlfriend leaves him alone. So
Shocker.
Caleb, oh
Caleb's
boy,
a side bitch.
Caleb's.
Nice.
I know. I probably know the answer to this question, but you guys have had a great work ethic. You've always worked. You've worked in a supermarket from when you were able to get a license to what do you call it, like a permit to work.
Yep.
What did your parents think of you guys going into the trades?
I think they followed it.
yeah.
They weren't like mad at all.
Anything that we would have wanted to go to, they would have supported us 100%.
Yeah.
So I could have been the most ridiculous thing, and then they would have
Yeah.
supported me.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
No.
What would be the most ridiculous thing? I'm kind of curious. What
What
you
would
think?
be the most ridiculous thing?
I don't know.
please?
It was just
Do
I
tell.
said most ridiculous thing, but it's not on the top of my
Florist?
head.
I don't know. Let's think of something.
Florist, yeah. A florist. Oh, you know.
A dog walker? I don't know.
A
You-
dog walker.
Well, I mean,
That's pretty cool, actually. We like
I enjoy
like dog
dogs.
walking.
Yeah, we like dog walking.
Actually, your stepdad is a crane operator, right?
Yep.
So
Yes,
he's
yep.
working. He works in the union.
His company just turned union.
They just went
Astro
union,
Crane.
A little bit ago.
Oh, he's Astro Crane.
Yep,
I didn't know
yep,
that.
he is.
Yes, he
I've
is.
seen
Shout out.
Shout out Astro
Shout
Crane.
out.
They do some
Not a
with local
sponsor.
Show
people.
with a sweatshirt.
I should have worn the sweatshirt.
What did your friends do after high school? Did your whole friend group? Did you make friends at Minuteman, or
Yeah.
did you have friends going into Minuteman?
So we had one friend going into Minuteman.
okay,
And then we picked up 2 after high school. So it's just a group of 5.
from Minuteman.
Out of those 5 people, 2 went into the trade, and that's Eric and I.
What about before you went to Minuteman? Did you have a friend group in say middle school?
Yeah.
And did you keep that friend group?
So
It was just the 3 of us.
I keep in touch with a couple
Yeah.
friends that we've had in our last school, but it's just kind of,
What do they do?
I don't know actually. I know they're in college for it now.
They're still in college.
They are still in college for it, yes.
How old are you guys? You guys are 21 now, so they should be getting out of college, right?
Should be,
Pretty
yeah.
soon out of
Yep.
college. All right. So they're in college, and you guys are making good money. You have nice trucks and cars and all that stuff, and you got a head start.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're banking away money. We have these conversations about saving. I'm sure
It's
Jason
only
talks
going into
about
my
it.
truck.
No, well, it was on your first truck.
Well, that's what I,
Yeah, that was-
yeah, I know, right?
that was
I told
money.
Luke not
Your
to buy
first
that
truck
truck.
was a
It
mistake,
was
buddy.
only like 5 oil leaks, I swear.
Luke would not listen to me when he didn't know me well enough, but he's like,
God.
don't buy that truck.
He didn't listen to me well enough.
It was last minute, guys. It was
Yeah.
last minute.
It's
Last
over.
minute. I need
The
a truck
Chevy-
and I only have a couple grand.
The Chevy era's over.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about, so did you go to high school first, or did you go right from middle school to Minuteman?
From
Middle
straight
school
from
to
middle
Middle
school
school to
Minuteman.
Minuteman. All right. So I doubt they do this, but did middle school provide any trade job fairs or any information about trade school?
I think there was one job fair
Yep.
thing where they kind of had it in the auditorium and they showed like what you could be doing. But Minuteman, it wasn't like the trade school. We weren't really shown much. It was more like an auditorium visit where they'd have a few high schoolers come out and they would be explaining how the school worked. You know, just kind of coming in. It's like, hi, my name's this. I'm in this grade. This is what shop I'm in. I like going to Minuteman and I like going to the shop and doing this trade because XYZ. And that was kind of it. And after that, it was more like almost like a pitch than anything, but it wasn't really like a, you should really be trying to go for this school, you know.
So what drew you to Minuteman?
It's a great question, actually.
I think just in general, even before Minuteman, I knew I kind of wanted to do something in construction.
You did? Okay.
Just based off building stuff and certain things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I never, sitting here is hard enough for me. Like, I can't sit in the office and type on a computer all day.
Yeah.
It's just hard for me.
Adult ADD is real, folks. Gotta move.
Gotta move.
So going to talk to young kids about Minuteman or other schools, you're doing that now, right? Do you talk to the freshman class that comes in?
So I did go one of the days because, which by the way, if you do have any scraps, or if any of the construction people out there listen to this video and have any scraps or anything, you know, Minuteman is more than happy to have you guys bring it in or donate it for the children to learn on this trade. But I did bring in a couple pre-hung doors, you know, for them to learn how to either install it or learn how they're made or whatever they do for teaching.
Really?
And so I went in there and I saw, I forget which grade I saw that, but you know, I got to see them, talk to them, see that they were making a couple Adirondack chairs and everything. And
Cliff mentioned that to me. I forgot that you guys, the school, will take surplus material. So
yeah, they take as
we
many
have
donations.
probably 10 doors that we took out of a house. We've been saving them to see which ones we're going to reuse, but we're going to have a bunch left over.
If you
So just
wanted
bring
to hand them,
yeah.
just bring them. You'll talk.
You have to get them there,
Yeah,
but
you just got to
Somehow.
talk to someone inside the school and just be like, hey, you know, I'm dropping this off. So when I went over there, I like tried to go through the front. I'm like, hey, I'm dropping off these doors, and the security guard looked at me and was like, yeah, right. You know, so I had to kind of get a couple people call.
Yeah,
be
to
like,
call
yeah,
ahead.
you know,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
Trust me, I
yeah.
do know a guy. I'm like,
You
all
don't
right.
recognize me?
So let's move on to career a little bit. You're in the trades now. You've been in the trades since you graduated high school, which was, what, 18?
So 3 years
We're,
now.
we're
3 years,
closing in
we're
on 3 years.
Almost.
Hitting
I
that
think
3
it's
years.
past
No,
now.
it's past.
Yeah.
What is it? July now. So
Yeah.
it was 3 years in June.
I think I met you guys. We were upstairs in my screen porch. I met you guys. You were still in school, right? Or had you graduated when I met you?
I think we were just
Graduating?
graduating.
So I met you guys. You were 18 years old. It's funny. I got a call from the carpentry instructor. Said I always, because I'm connected to the school as an advisor. I always get like the little tip, like, hey, I got a stud for you. I got a hero for you. So he goes, I got a good one for you. I'm like, great. We're looking for a guy. He goes, it's two guys. I'm like, well, I'm only hiring one guy. He goes, they share a car. I'm like, oh, what? He's like, yeah, they're twins. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can afford two salaries. So I said, make the connection and let's meet him. So I called Jason, his boss, and I said, here's the story. And Jason knows that I've hired kids from the past. Was it Skylar and then a couple other ones before that?
Yeah, Stewie.
Stewart.
Good old Stu.
So hired a few before. None of them really worked out long term, but we continue to hire. We have Ilya now, and we hire him as a co-op. So 1 week on, 1 week off. We get him for the summer, sort of.
He's still in school, right? He's got one more year.
Ilya has one more year. Yeah, Ilya is great. So we sat down. Jason agreed to come meet me. We met these guys for coffee in my screen porch. We talked, and we decided that we would hire them. I'd hire one, and Jason would hire one. It worked out great.
It worked
3
out
years ago.
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
So far, so good.
It was funny though, when I first met you, you were going to go in the Marine Corps, and right?
Jason was really wanting me to go in, and I was looking, but
You were looking at
I think it was more like a fever dream at the moment.
Yeah,
than
and
like
you
at,
were
like
like, I want to be a boss. I want to own my own company.
Yeah,
and,
I'm
you
not.
know,
So, I want to, kick off my career.
Yep, make a lot of money and kick ass. So, so that was 3 years ago. I think I asked you that day, and I think I remember what you might have said, but I think I asked you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's 2 years from now.
Which is crazy.
Crazy. So where do you see
Oh my
yourself
God.
in 2 years?
2 years.
Yep.
Bigger salary.
Keep growing the salary.
Yeah.
Does that come commensurate with like increased proficiency? I hope.
I hope so.
All
Yeah. I'm
right.
hoping to increase
Not
my
slacking in
proficiency.
skills.
Carpenter
Yeah.
or something, or a project manager?
Desk job, desk job. I don't know, actually. I haven't really, not to say I haven't really thought that far.
Yep.
Like I've thought about towards like maybe retirement and like setting up for that, but I haven't really been worrying about the next
about the
couple
career
years.
stuff,
It's more
yeah.
like we'll see what comes next, and we'll
You
deal
have
with
to
that
think
when it
about
comes.
retirement day one and start.
Which is why I'm
little
actually
at a time, right.
thankful for being in this position, because both you and Jason have been incredible when it comes to retirement,
Yep.
in being able to
Money handling.
showing us how to handle money and be able to save it and put it in Roth IRAs and have an
Yeah.
investment.
Yep.
Exactly.
I appreciate
It's all about
awesome.
compounding interest.
I
It really
appreciate
is.
that you guys messed up and then told us not to mess up.
I didn't mess up. I'm
No,
in a good
it-
place.
Well, you are.
talking about
You are.
Jason messed up. I don't know if Jason messed up, but it is true. 10% of your salary at a minimum, compounding interest. You'll have $1 million by the time you're 50 years old. So just sock it away and max out every year if you can. Luke, 2 years from now.
2 years from now, I think I definitely want to get into more like running estimates and or getting like my foot in the water
Yep.
kind of thing, and then maybe I want to also try like by then running jobs. I want to be able to talk to the electricians, talk to the plumbers, be able to know what's going on, talk with the clients.
What's the best way to set you up for that? Just have you watch us do it for now, or
I think
just
at
put
some
your feet
point,
to the fire and make you do
well,
it?
I think at some point there's also
Just do that.
a bit of both, like watch and do at the
Yeah.
same time, because I know I'm new. I don't want to destroy the client's dream with me screwing up.
Yeah. So a lot of the problems now, I mean, there's no problem, but the issue now is that it's nomenclature, it's process, and it's process, right? So having a conversation with the client and try to explain to them, okay, next step is, once we get the inspection on electrical, we're going to then go, we're going to get our framing inspection, then we'll get our insulation and insulation inspection, It's process, and you're still learning the process. You know it, but you haven't been held accountable to present it. So maybe we need to put you in that position.
That's
where
actually why
you do it.
I enjoy so much working with Jason in Jason's company, because there has been times where he has kind of let me be technically like the boss. Like
Is this when he's in Florida?
every now and again, but still
Jason
like
likes the warm weather. He's a snowbird.
But still, though, like being able to
Right
go
there
in
with
there and be able to know what I'm talking about and have the clients come in and not be afraid, like to sit there and be like, oh, this 20-year-old kid sitting there
Yeah.
dealing with these people, like like what's going on. But Jason trusts me enough to go out there and stay for inspections and have the right answers for them,
The inspector
or
or
be
whatever,
able to meet the electricians and tell them what they need to be doing, or what's going to be going on for the day, or meeting the tile installers and telling the homeowners that what's going to be going on, or letting them know they need to be choosing different things for like positions of the tile, or for paint colors, or for where they want the electrical, like the lights.
So you know all this ahead of time? You've got to learn it ahead of time before you present it to
Yeah,
the client,
absolutely.
right?
And you're supposed to like I'll read the spreadsheet that we have that we will. He'll like and for an example,
do a job book
in
or
Westford. We're doing a job in Westford, and so he handed me the paper that he wrote down. So it had just had all the things we needed to do the job.
Yep.
And it just kind of gave it a step by step on what's going next day by day. And he just gave me that so I could read it and kind of study it, so I can go to the homeowner and tell them what's going to be going on for the day.
So we do that on our job. We make a job book. It's pretty much the scope of work of the proposal with the client, but we'll throw in window specs, door specs, tile, stove. There'll be
Everything.
plumbing. I'll make tabs, plumbing, electrical, tile, whatever, appliances. And on a big remodel, the book could be an inch thick. On a remodel now, it's several inches thick.
It's a big binder.
And I always say to Luke, I say, try to, if we have some downtime or whatever at lunch, try to read the scope of work, because it does the scope follows, in a sense, the job. And, it'll start off with demo, permit prep, oversight, dust protection, mitigation. Then we get into demo and framing and plumbing, electrical, on and on and on. So I always try to have Luke read that stuff too.
I also think Erik in general seems like he has more of a handle on clients whether than if I were to talk to him, because he's been put in those situations.
Yeah.
Where like our team, we have a slightly bigger team, so it's like something that like we don't have to worry about of me doing, because we have Dan to fall on if you have to go somewhere, and then I'll be doing work, obviously.
Right. Dan's our PM lead. I think it's a good point though. I think maybe we set you up in certain situations, let you get your feet wet and do some of that stuff.
Put them in.
Only way to learn.
I do think the
Right in
next
the
2 years
fire.
that's one of the things we should be working on. The other thing we talked about is we want to get you some Excel training so that you understand how we build our projects on Excel and then we type them up. But we use the Excel as a spreadsheet. There is QuickBooks. There's Paychecks where we do our payroll. There's a lot of different programs that we use. So little by little, I asked them what they saw themselves doing in 2 years, but Luke and I are having a ongoing conversation about 6 years out. And that's kind of my goal of where I want to maybe try to step back and keep stepping back. And maybe I'm a consultant for a while, or I'm doing estimates only, or I don't know what that looks like yet. But
Which also reminds me, I want to get my CSL.
yeah,
So I've been looking at Monty Tech and seeing that they will be actually having classes soon, which we can do a small discussion after the video.
well, actually, it's funny. Dan and I were going to sit with Luke this week, next week, and we were talking about there were 3 things we want Luke to do, and we'll probably tie them to a pay raise. So when these 3 things are done, you get a pay raise. And one of them was CSL.
Yeah.
One of them was an Excel class, which you're already looking into to try to see which one you want.
Be cool.
Yeah.
And the third one, I don't remember what it was. It was kind of low hanging fruit, but I like the National Association of Home Builders has certified remodeler, certified kitchen remodeler, certified bathroom remodeler. You have to have a certain amount of years experience. You guys are, I think, there now with your trade school. I think they count that. Some great programs through.
I think it does. I think it counts as 2 years.
I think so too. But anyway, they have that certified remodeler course. I've never taken it. It looks good. It's a little pricey.
Remodeling
course. Kitchen remodeler, bathroom remodeler, and just remodeler. And that might be something good to do. It'd be good for your resume.
I would be glad to do that course.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about those things. So we're going to talk next week about the CSL and the Excel. And if you guys team up and do it together, even better. So
Yeah, that'd be great, because we'll team up
you
on
can
it.
cheat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. He'll read off my answers.
Yeah. They'll probably be all wrong.
So we covered all of our questions. What else? Is there anything else we want to talk about briefly, a little bit?
You got anything in mind?
It's a pretty hefty
Our
question list.
last video that we did for Green to Great was with Grace. Grace is a friend of these guys, and she's a welder. If you watched the video,
Shout out.
shout out to Grace.
Yeah.
What is
Word of the people.
What's your thoughts about women in the trades? Do you know any other women in trades? We know Grace. I know a few because of my Instagram presence and videos.
Well, I only know the women in the trade that we have.
Sydney?
Yeah,
and Courtney.
Sydney
Painter,
and Courtney,
yeah.
and that's pretty much it.
I really
Grace
don't.
is legit
I don't see
the only
much
one I
great-
know.
Yeah,
Grace is legit
I'm
your
the only
age.
one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know a couple people that that Emma's, has friends.
Yep.
And they go in the trades.
And they're in the
too,
trades.
so.
What are they doing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Just know they're in the trades.
It's 20 years ago. I didn't know anybody in the trades. 10 years ago, it was Sydney only, and then Courtney came along. Courtney's a painter. Courtney's an engineer, and then did the mom thing and got further away from it. Now she just paints, kind of. But who else? We know Grace. Grace is full-time welding. And then I know people that I've met through YouTube and some of the trades things that I do or whatever. They're influencers or whatever. But around here, there's a lady that I bump into once in a while. A young lady that is a carpenter. I see her at Concord Lumber. Have you met her yet?
I don't think so.
She's kind of cool. I can't think of her first name right now, but there's not a whole lot.
No, there isn't.
But it's growing. And why do you think women are attracted to the trades?
Are attracted to the trades?
Yeah, they're coming towards the trades now. It's definitely coming up. Do you think it's because social media, Instagram, whatever, is making it kind of cool?
I would think that. I mean, I think it's more towards interest. They're finally realizing that they are allowed to be in there, so it's kind of maybe starting to kind of spike.
They were always
Just-
allowed. Let's just
Yeah.
keep
Well,
that
yeah,
allowed.
no, sorry.
always
They were
allowed.
always allowed, but like
Not to Eric.
It's becoming more friendly.
it's becoming more friendly. That came off wrong, but
The trades in general are becoming more friendly.
yeah,
And
because back then, everybody
you had
was
some
kind of
assholes.
like you were saying,
Oh, yeah.
poo-pooing, but they were even poo-pooing like women's in the trade specifically.
they were hazing.
and they were
hazing
hazing
anti-female.
exactly, and they weren't like allowed to be in there.
Because you're going through that
until-
time where like everybody's like, oh, like women stay at home, man's job kind of thing, and
Yeah.
you probably still have those people coming in. And it's just
I think, like I said, Instagram or whatever, any of these channels, YouTube, all of the, what's the other one? I don't know, Snapchat, or what's the one that kids all dance on? I can't think of it. TikTok. All of these social media social media platforms are kind of, there are influencers out there. I know dozens of them. I'm one of them. So
Yeah.
there are dozens of influencers out there that are showing the trades in a positive light and kind of cool. And people are like, oh, that's cool. Oh, look at, and they're showing a cool thing that they're doing. And I think that has to have a positive impact. I also think it's showing the trades as friendlier. The trades, when I got into it, were not friendly. They were, they play jokes on you. Go get the, left-handed blah blah blah. Or, they were always hazing you. You always did the shit work. They kept you down. They paid you shit. They wouldn't show you anything for fear of you might take their job someday or something. I don't know. I mean, I had a college background, so I went in with college education, and none of the guys that I worked with had college educations, and so automatically I was an outcast. They're like, who's this guy? Why is he here? And they wouldn't show me shit. I had to learn it myself. I read a lot of books. I watched a lot of stuff, videos, Fine Home Building, all those videos, and then I watched them, and I just picked things up as I went. I didn't have a good mentor until later. Now you've got these influencers that are mentoring, and you've got guys like me that are willing to take on an apprentice. Jason, Dan, great trainer. So I think there's a paradigm shift where the pendulum is kind of swinging the other way, and people are going, shit, we're in trouble. There's not a lot of people. For every 5 carpenters, electricians, plumbers retiring, you've got one person coming in. That doesn't work.
Like our group too. Like
Yeah.
2 went in after 5 people.
5 went. And that doesn't work. That means that we're going to be super busy and people are going to be waiting for things, and there's going to be or what happens is you get the gypsies come in, which are just people who are not skilled, and they just take advantage of people to do shit work. So that's a problem too, because that can bring things back to the way it used to be, where the trades had a bad reputation. So I think the skills gap are a problem. We need to kind of figure it out, and it's incumbent upon bosses and people to train up people as well. But it's hard to find young people that want to work. So anyway,
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys for your time. This was great. I had to pull teeth to get him here. I think Eric was a little camera shy, even though he talked the entire video.
I know. Pretty
And,
boy over here.
Yeah,
You calm down there, boy.
I think Eric likes videos now. We're gonna have to get him his own video
man.
channel.
Yeah. Welcome to my YouTube channel, a Concord Carpenter.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again.
Yes, no problem.
Bye, everybody.
Later.
Well done, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think Eric should go in the mirror and make sure his hair's good.
I didn't touch my hair at all, dick.